Good Yuntu. I have to admit, this Kol Nidre Appeal feels pretty strange. I'm standing in our empty sanctuary recording this. I have to suspend belief and imagine all of you sitting out there, dressed in your high holiday finest, listening attentively, hanging on my every word. Or not. And you have to suspend belief and imagine yourselves not at home watching this on your computers, phones, pads, or televisions, but sitting here in our sanctuary together, wondering, how long am I going to talk? And what's the rabbi's sermon going to be about? Yes, this is a pretty strange appeal for a pretty strange high holidays in a very strange year. We miss being together in the same room at the same time, praying together and wishing each other Lashana Tova, shaking hands, patting each other on the back, hugging, catching up, and feeling the warmth, intimacy, and love that is Temple Beth Emet. We'll get through, we'll make the best of it, and God willing, we will all be back together soon. In the meantime, we'll do the best we can to suspend belief and imagine ourselves together this Yom Kippur evening. Some 100 years ago, there was another pandemic in our land, and Jewish communities had to deal with that. They didn't have the benefit of electronics and the internet to come together while separate. The threat to health was even greater, as the Spanish flu was repeatedly even more contagious than COVID-19, and the medical arts much less developed. In 1918, about a month after Yom Kippur, a Russian immigrant Jewish community outside Philadelphia gathered together for a wedding. It wasn't an ordinary wedding, it was a pretty strange wedding. The bridegroom was Harry Rosenberg. The bride was Fanny Jacobs. They didn't know each other. All they really had in common is that they were poor and wanted to help save their community. Before an audience of 1,200, they wed in a cemetery. After the ceremony, the guests gave gifts of money to the couple to give them a reasonable start to their lives together. This odd arrangement was known as a Sharza Hasedne, a black wedding. It was an Eastern European rite that had been employed in previous afflictions that was thought to protect the community. The main idea was that the graveside wedding would appeal to the dead, who could intercede on the living's behalf. Additionally, it was hoped that the sad sight of poor young strangers marrying in a desolate location would induce God to have pity on the couple and thus halt the spread of the disease. The practice was not widespread and even at the time heavily criticized in the local Jewish press as a most deplorable exhibition of benighted superstition. But it had its roots in old country culture, Hasidic belief, and in Kabbalah. And it wasn't the only custom brought from the old country. Many Polish Jews posted signs above their gates that said, "Nobody is inside," as their way of warding off the angel of death. See, I told you this was going to be a strange appeal. Standing here in the year 2020 in the Common Era, 5781 on our calendar, we can look back 100 years at this community with a mixture of empathy and derision, but there are two things of value we can learn from them. First, a wedding embodies a trust in God, a link to the past and a commitment to the future, even in the midst of trying times. Second, the community made a financial commitment to look past the troubles they faced and support that future, the future of the wedding couple and the future of the entire community. Our temple community isn't going to be holding any black weddings, but right now we do need to honor our temple's past, to put our faith in God and make a commitment to the future of Temple Beth Emet. That commitment, of course, includes a financial commitment. In the midst of a pandemic and the economic uncertainty it has caused, we all need to make a financial commitment to ensure the survival and revival of Temple Beth Emet. There's a lot of positive happening at our temple. We've been successful in keeping our office open, with Victoria doing heroic duty. We've maintained Friday night Shabbat services on Zoom and YouTube thanks to Rabbi and Robin, with Miranda Goldstein as videographer and her father David offering technical assistance. Rabbi has started his Lunch with the Rabbi sessions on Zoom every Wednesday, and participation in that continues to grow. We've begun a new year of religious school on Zoom with our wonderful parents, children, and faculty. Even our Religious School Parents Association remains active under its president, Sherry Rye. And of course, here we are at High Holiday Services with Rabbi Mark, Robin, and our Temple Beth Emet choir, and musicians in front of the camera and Miranda and David behind it. But this coronavirus pandemic has hit us hard financially. We've had to shut down our preschool. We can't have a real open house to attract members. Many of our members have had to curtail their contributions, but we still have to pay salaries, insurance, utilities, and maintain the building. So we need your generous support if our temple is to survive. And when things get back to normal, we will need your support to reopen our building, to restart our programs, to attract new families, and to move forward. So for now, I'm going to ask you for your financial support. You can fill out a pledge card on our website. You can mail a check to the temple. You can even email or call the temple to arrange your contribution. And I sincerely thank you for whatever support you can offer in these difficult times. I'm also going to ask that as this pandemic eases, and it will end, that you rededicate yourself to our temple community, that you come back to Temple Beth Emet just as soon as we are able to welcome you back and help us rebuild, move forward, and grow our temple family even stronger than it was before. Until that day comes, we thank you for your support. We miss you. We need you. We love you. May the coming year be a good one for all of us and all the world, and may we all do our part so that we may be blessed to gather together again here in our sanctuary next year. Be well. L'Shana Tova.